second video. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the microchip that has been invented, and also I'm going to talk about the solar eclipse that's coming August 21st. So let's talk about this chip. So in the Bible, I'm going to give you a little background first. In the Bible, it talks about this person called the AntiChrist. In the Bible, it says he's a person. Some people think it's a system. I happen to think it's both. It's a person who's going to work through a system that's been put in place in the earth to control the masses. It says that the Antichrist is going to come forth as a person of peace. Everybody's going to look to him and think that he's an awesome person. Pretty much everybody's going to fall up under his spell. But then he's going to turn around and he's going to become a dictator. So he's going to draw people in by making people think he's a good guy, when in actuality he's a bad guy. Now, the Antichrist is the opposite of what Jesus is. You know, it's God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, right? Well, the devil always tries to imitate what God does. So just like Christ was like the son and the mouthpiece for God, the Antichrist is acting in that same way for the devil. So he's gonna come into the earth, or he has come into the earth to do the devil's work, to do the devil's will in the earth, to try to take control. And so that's his purpose. And so in order to do this, though, he's going to need a system to work through, a system that's in place. And a lot of people, you might ask, well, how do you know that the Antichrist is, how do you know this is really going to happen? Well, you have to look at the things that's coming into play and how the stage is being set. Number one, it says that he's going to come forth at a time when the world is in a lot of chaos. When you look at today, the setting is just right. Because look at ISIS. No one in this world, out of all the countries in this world, none of them can defeat ISIS. They can't come together and get together and go defeat ISIS. And the reason being is because you can't say, well, we're going to go over to the Middle East and we're going to bomb them, we're going to fight them with guns and destroy them, because you're not going to totally destroy them. Because what ISIS is founded on is an ideology. They're not fighting for land. They're not fighting for oil. It's an ideology. It is a spiritual belief within them. That's why they are fighting. They're not just in the Middle East. They've migrated. They have influenced people through the internet. So you have people who empathize with ISIS in Europe, in America. So if you kill all of them out and try to say you defeated them in the Middle East, you haven't defeated them, because you still have members in Europe and in America and probably in other countries too. So this is a fight that you're not going to win with weapons. This is a fight that has to be won spiritually. And no matter how many bombs you drop, it's not going to destroy it. So I think the Antichrist is going to come in, and somehow he's going to get through to ISIS, and he's going to defeat them. And he's going to take control of them. And he's going to get everything under control. And everybody's going to look at him as the savior. Everyone's going to look at him as, oh my God, he had the answer. He had the answer. He solved the issue. It's peace now. Everything's peaceful. We're happy. We're all getting along. It's going to be like a kumbaya. It's going to be like a paradise on earth. And then he's going to turn around and he's going to surprise everybody, because it's all been an act. And he's really going to be evil. So number one, I believe the Antichrist is getting ready to come forth, because the stage of the earth, the way the earth is when it comes to chaos, it's set for him to come forth with the answer. Number two, America's um, standing in the earth has diminished and is diminishing. And what I mean by that is America is a superpower. America has pretty much had control over a lot of things that happens in the earth. America has been looked towards as being a leader, it's been a superpower. Everybody wants to come to America to live. Everyone says that America is the place of milk and honey. You know, that's America, and that's who we've been in the world for decades. But in order to take over, you have to take control of the country that's in control. So if you diminish the way a country is looked at in the earth, you diminish their power, then you can come in and you can take power. Because if the country, excuse me, my eye is itching off. If the country that's been the country that everybody else in the world goes to for help, goes to for guidance, goes to help to rescue them. If that country doesn't have the answer, then someone else can come in with the answer. Okay? So number one, the world is in chaos right now. Number two, America is losing its standing as a superpower in the world. Number three, the system that he is going to work through is coming, has been placed and set into the earth. And it's working. So in order for you to be a dictatorship, in order for you to control the masses, not just in the country, but in the world, because this man is going to have control over the world, you have to have a system in place to keep control. And I do believe that this system is the chip. Some people were saying that they thought it was the card. You know, the cards that we're getting now with the microchips in them. No, that might be a part of the system, but it's not the mark of the beast. Because you can lay that card down and it says that the mark that you're going to get, they're going to use whatever it is to say that you have aligned yourself with the Antichrist. And I don't think that it's the card, the debit cards, because I have a debit card. But I do think it's the chip, because the chip is something that's in your body, and they can track you with this chip. They can track your every move. They can track what you buy. They can track where you go. When you go to the doctor, they can track everything about you, where you're flying to. You know, they can track everything through this chip. And so I think this is the way that he's going to control people. He's going to keep control over you, over what you're doing. Now, let me give you a little bit of background about the mark of the beast. In the Bible, it says the mark of the beast is the mark that people would get in their hands or in their foreheads. And this mark really signifies that you are aligning yourself with the Antichrist. So basically, you're saying that I'm for him, I'm with him, and this mark is going to say that I belong to him. And if you don't get this mark, you can't buy or you can't sell. Then it also goes on to say whoever gets this mark, the mark will make them sick. And so that's what it says in the Bible about the mark. Okay? Now, this chip started out in Europe. And they started to use it in Europe. And it first started out with them implanting the animals. Because in Europe, you have to have your animal implanted. It's like a law, just like over in America. In some places, you have to have your outdoor dogs chained. That's a law. Well, in Europe, you have to have that chip implanted in your animal in case the animal becomes lost. They can find the animal. So they did that to the animals in Europe. And then they moved to the people in Europe. I had read somewhere in an article where there was a stadium where instead of the people getting a chip, getting a season pass as a ticket, they can now get the chip implanted in them to go to the games. So now it's come to America. It's moving, y'all. It's making its way through the world. Now it's in America, and there's a company in Wisconsin that just now, August the 1st, implanted their employees with the microchip. There were um, there were 80 employees. There were 80 employees in this company, and 50 volunteered to get this chip, and it happened on August 1st. So I want to read you a little bit about this chip and about what it's about and everything. So let me see if I can get back to where I was to recover it. Let me see if it'll recover the page. It's not wanting to act right. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I want to get down to the article. See, my computer's slow, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. Let me see if it moves for me now. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm going to turn it around so you guys can read it with me. Well, no, I'm just going to read it. Okay. Oh my God, what is going on? Why is it messing up like this? Okay, it says a Wisconsin technology firm has begun offering employees microchip implants to scan into the company building and purchase food at work. First of all, why do you need to do this? What's wrong with scanning in with badges and passwords and usernames? And why can't I use my debit card or cash or check to buy food? Welcome to the future. A Wisconsin technology company is offering its employees microchip implants that can be used to scan into the building and purchase food at work. Whether or not to get a chip is up to the employee to decide. 3 Square Market, a company that provides technology for break room or micro markets, has over 50 employees who plan to have the devices implanted. The tiny chip, which uses RFID technology or radio frequency identification, can be implanted between the thumb and the forefinger within seconds. We foresee the use of the RFID technology to drive everything from making purchases in our office break room market, opening doors, use of copy machines, logging into our office computers, unlocking phones, sharing business cards, storing medical health information, and use as payment at other RFID terminals. That's what the CEO, Todd Westby, said in a company statement. Eventually, this technology will become standardized, allowing you to use this as your passport, public transit, all purchasing opportunities, etc. And while microchip employees may sound like something out of the horror film, the company is partnering with Swedish company Biohacks International, which already has many chipped employees. Employees are not required to get the microchips, and Westby told the station there is no GPS tracking. Okay, so did you hear in that when I was reading, it said that they were going to be able to buy and sell within the company, like in the, I guess, cafeteria or at the vending machines? And in the Bible, it says that you're not going to be able to buy or sell unless you have this mark. Did you notice when they said that they think that eventually you're going to be able to use it as your passport, your public transit? That means whenever you scan that, they can track where you're going. That's like How when we use our debit cards now as purchases, when people are thieves and or when people are trying to track somebody or find somebody, like the FBI, they use how many times they swipe or where they swipe their debit cards to track them. So why do you think that if you swipe this chip, that they won't be able to track everywhere you're going? They won't be able to track where you're purchasing, where you're buying stuff, where you're flying to. They won't be able to say, well, where is so-and-so? Oh, she's in Hawaii today. And they say that this doesn't have GPS tracking. Oh, mind you, it has the capabilities. It might not be turned on right now, but it's on that chip. And I promise you, this is going to spread rapidly. It's going to spread very fast, y'all. Fast. So get ready. Don't take this chip. No matter what you do not take that chip. Do not take the chip. Because if you do, that's it. There's no going back to God. That's it. I would rather starve to death than to take that chip. And right now they're saying it's voluntary. But look how many people took it voluntarily. 50 people out of 80 people voluntarily got chipped. They voluntarily let somebody put a chip on the inside of their bodies. This is going to happen in other companies. I work at a good company. I've been there for a long time. But if they implement this chip process, I will not be working there anymore. So I wanted you guys to know that if you want to find out more about it, you can Google it. You can Google Wisconsin company and the RFID chip and be able to read up about it, or you can go and YouTube it and find it on YouTube. It's happening, guys. The Antichrist is getting ready to come out. It's getting ready to come forth. Everything's being set. And we just need to stay prayerful. So, let's move on to talking about the solar eclipse that's coming. The solar eclipse that's coming is going to be over America. It's going to be seen over America. And I think the best place to see it is going to be Tennessee. And so normally when a solar eclipse happens, it means that there's going to be a judgment for the Gentiles. And being that this solar eclipse is over America, I believe that it means that there's going to be judgment coming to America. In what form, I don't know. In America, we have a lot of things going on right now. We have this thing going on with North Korea. We have, the things that's going on with ISIS and everything. So who knows what the judgment is going to be. But I believe that in the Bible, this is not what I believe. In the Bible, it says that that the sun and the moon are used for signs and for seasons. And so we have to look to the moon and the stars, the moon and the sun as signs. And so the lunar eclipses, which are the eclipses of the moon, normally means that something's going to happen with Israel. And if you go back and you track that and you do a study, you will find that every time there's been a lunar eclipse, there has been something that has occurred with Israel in the following days or the following months. Likewise, with the solar eclipse, it means that there are going to be judgment with the Gentiles, which means that there's going to be some form of judgment that happens within every other country other than Israel. Some country. You never know which one, but it's going to be something's going to happen with a country, a Gentile country. And so this solar eclipse is centered over America. And so with everything that's going on with us politically, everything that's going on with us in North Korea, what's going on with us in ISIS, it's not hard to believe that something's going to happen within the next few days or month or a couple of months after the solar eclipse. So I want you to just be watchful and be prayerful. Something's going to happen after the solar eclipse in America. And you just have to pray that whatever it is, that there will be minimum uh, death or minimal disaster. That's what I would say. You're going to have to pray. And that's not, I'm not saying that to scare anyone or whatever. It's just what it is. When God calls judgment, you just have to just pray for mercy. So, and really and truly, the way America has been acting, we're due for judgment, truthfully. And we have been very, very lucky that God hasn't poured it out on us so far, because we have repeatedly turned our backs on God. No one likes judgment. No one wants it. But if you keep on disobeying God, it's going to come your way. So, pray, be watchful, be prayerful. Pray for America. Pray for the world. Because God, we are about to go on a roller coaster ride. And we need to consider ourselves blessed, I guess, in a way. Because we are the ones that are living to see God's word fulfilled, to see his prophecies come to pass. And another thing that I wanted to say, I'm sorry. Another thing I wanted to say was God's word has to fulfill itself. It's got to come to pass. So everything has to come to pass in his word. So Christian people, our job is to just spread the gospel and the good news to people, to get them ready for Jesus and for heaven. We're spending too much time on fighting about this political things. We need to be concentrating on saving people and bringing people into the kingdom of God. So that's what you need to be doing right now. Telling people about Jesus and who he is, and he came and died on the cross for their sins. That's what we should be doing in this day and time. Getting people ready. That is the most important thing right now that we should be doing. So that's what you guys should do. Tell as many people as you can about Jesus. And tell them that Jesus loves them. And that he came and died on the cross for them, so that they might be forgiven and that heaven might be their home. So you guys, that's the end of the video for today. You guys have a blessed day, and you guys stay woke, stay prayed up.